Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Lineage Break, a Grand Archive TCG podcast brought to you from the secret closet of our local game store, Webway Games in Marlborough, Massachusetts. My name is Cam. I am one of your hosts, and alongside me, as always, is number one Lorraine hater on the internet, Steve.
Hey, guys. Can't deny it.
Yeah. I get it, you know.
Hey, you know.
It's not her fault.
It's not. No. It's wins.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll get there. But so we've been gone for a couple of weeks. It's been a busy couple of weeks for us. We haven't gotten as much grand archiving in as I would like.
No, it's actually kind of depressing. I think we've played one game.
Yeah, like one and a half games. Because the peek behind the curtain or whatever. I run Webway Games here that we're filming out of. So like anytime me and Steve try to play the game, we like get sidetracked and like people like need stuff. I need to work or something.
Oh, no.
I know. It's crazy. And we were away at a convention last weekend, so that means we didn't get to game as much. But we've been doing our best to keep track of what's been going on. So today we're going to talk about a little bit of tournament stuff. We've actually had two separate tournaments that have been run since our last episode 2 weeks ago. There was one on the official Grand Archive Discord, and then there was one that was for the Marketplace Discord, which is a lot of the same, usual suspects, but different format, I guess. It seems like a prevailing thing that everybody's sort of eating their words, that last episode we were talking about how bad water is and, how that wind's broken. And
yeah, and I'm looking down at this list from the Discord tournament, and it's a lot of water in the top 8.
Yeah. So the Discord tournament that happened 2 weeks ago, I think it was is it 5 water Lorraines?
1, 2, 3 water Lorraines, top 8.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just 3.
Well, I think...
But there's also water Xanders and stuff.
A lot of water decks. And this was notably, if you tuned in to our last episode where we talked about the new cards coming in Alter, this tournament that we're talking about 2 weeks ago, they weren't even using those cards. Yeah. So it's just a bunch of water decks that aren't even using the new broken water card. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think it was just everyone just trying to test something out, trying to change, or not change, but explore the format a little bit more.
Right.
Trying to get away from the safety of wind.
Right.
So it's definitely very cool.
Yeah. So I think inevitably Water Lorraine took down that tournament.
Yep.
And then this most recent week was the Marketplace tournament, which I believe, as of recording, is still the finals still haven't happened, and I believe the finals is I think it's Gaz and 40%. Fire Lorraine versus Wind Lorraine, I believe is the finals. But that one also something that we wouldn't have expected 2 weeks ago is a lot of Fire Lorraines in the top cut of that tournament as well. I think there's 3 Fire Lorraines, a couple more Fire decks too, Fire Sander, Fire Merlin.
Yeah, there's a lot of fire. It's weird that per event it one element dominates.
Right.
It's kind of wild where it's the last one is water,
right.
This one is fire. When's the normal tournament?
Soon. Yeah, right. When everybody has nullifying lanterns in play, then we have the by default normal tournament.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think and something that I wanted to talk to you about that I haven't really discussed. Granted, I want you to come in with an open mind, Steve, because we're going to be talking about your favorite girl.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with her. It's just the lack of my ability to be
sure. Well, I think that's the case for a lot of people. And both of these tournaments, the water deck and the fire deck were both sort of not your typical Win Lorraine mid-range shell. They were both combo decks that had the Spirit Blade and Soul Spirit Blade Dispersion sort of combo finish.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw, but this past week we actually had our first actual change to the comprehensive rules.
Yeah. First errata.
Yeah, and they errataed Spirit Blade and Soul to now when the weapons that you put into play when they attack, they lose durability.
Yeah.
So the combo, it doesn't lose a whole lot, but it means that like dispersion is pretty bad now. So you like lose that secondary like 8 damage or whatever it was that you throw swords at people.
It's still a lot.
Yeah, I think it
it's
went
still
from
playable, right?
Like, yeah.
You're only losing like 8 damage,
right?
In a deck that's just going to punch you in the face for that 8 damage the next turn, anyways.
Yeah, I think it went down from like 23 to 15 or something like that you do with the combo. But I mean, I think it's worth discussing that like. It's been toned back a little bit, and I guess we'll see with the tournaments to come. But it's pretty clear. I think we said this 2 weeks ago, so maybe it's not all that clear. But I think it's pretty clear to me that Lorraine is like the standout from the characters in Dawn of Ashes.
I would agree with that.
And maybe we're idiots, and like Sylvie is just like unexplored, and she's secret broken. Like I don't know, but.
I don't know, because like this recent tournament, right, the one that's still ongoing.
Yeah.
The altar cards were legal.
Yeah.
And no one played Sylvie. So
it's like kind of wild to me that like the altar cards were legal, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was no Sylvies in the top cut. I don't know if people just like haven't figured it out yet. And also I think worth mentioning, and this was mentioned on Creative Shock as well. If you guys are looking for more content to watch, more podcasts, make sure to go check out Creative Shock by our good friends down under. We will leave a link down below. But they mentioned that this tournament was sort of meant to be a little bit more casual because it was like for the collectors and the people on the marketplace.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why, the people weren't trying to like push the envelope and break stuff, and they were just like, trying to have fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was no Sylvie decks in the top cut, and I think like was there even any water decks in the top cut?
Yeah. There was one water Lorraine and one water Xander.
Sure. But like, I find that super crazy with the power that I assume they're running play sets of Frostborn Paladins, and like that card.
I would hope so.
Nuts.
Because if they're not, then they probably should put a play set of Frostborn Paladin in their deck.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So I'm a little bit shocked by that. But so it leads us to the question where it's like, yeah, Lorraine might be a little too good, but at least she's sort of her build paths are a little bit divergent.
Right.
But this water and the fire deck sort of meet in the middle of being these sort of like combo control decks. And like, do we think that, Spirit Blade and Soul is too powerful?
I mean, not with the new update. I think it's fine.
Okay.
Because I mean, you from a regular card game standpoint, like it's all right.
Yeah.
And then you also have to think, like, how much damage does Erupting Rye do?
Sure, yeah.
Because, like, it's the same kind of concept where it's just, like...
It's true.
It's like, I'm going to do one combo and try to win the game right here.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure Erupting plus Fireball is more than 23 damage.
It's surely more damage, but, like, the place where I'm a little bit concerned is that... like they printed Nullifying Lantern, right, to sort of temper this Erupting Rye deck. So at least now like you have interaction, and even before that you had like Veiling Breeze and I'm blanking Safeguard Amulet, things that like sort of tempered these non-attack mage damage spells. But like I guess we still have like Water Barrier, but like against the Ensoul combo, there's not like a whole lot you can do. They just like punch you in the head with like 6 dudes.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. But at the same time,
I guess like Intercept gets around it, right?
You got like Intercept, and I'm sure there's other ways to mitigate the damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is definitely
scary stuff.
It is definitely scary for to play against.
Right.
I guess the thing would be to just go faster.
Sure, yeah.
Beat them before they hit 3.
Right.
But that's it's tough, especially when you're just taking damage every turn against them.
Yeah, especially this fire deck too, which is like very much a similar shell to Erupting Rye, where they're just like dumping float into their banish to level up so that they can slam their Ensoul and kill you.
Yeah.
I don't know, crazy. I'm like a fan of like combo control, like in general, but it's hard to balance for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is like one of those decks where it's just like one card can tip it either way.
Right.
Where it's just like, oh well, this one card is making this deck viable.
Yeah.
But if you change that one card, then the deck is just not playable.
Right.
Or vice versa. Like,
yeah, I think
something new could come out that would just like make another deck way better.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the errata is good. I think it helps a little bit.
Yeah.
It means that people like probably just don't play Dispersion anymore, which is fine. I think it makes your combo a little bit easier to pull off because now it's just like you cast it in Soul or whatever. Yeah. But it's a little bit safer, like especially in like, you know, the Lorraine mirrors that like you assume you're going to be seeing a lot.
Right.
She's got 28 health, man. You know, like
which is tough because like.
So like 15 is like, you know,
it's a
like a little bit more than half her health. It's tough against the mages where like, 25. You know, if, like in this top 8, there's like a Fire Merlin deck who I assume, I haven't looked at their deck list, but like if they're a Merlin deck, I assume they're not playing level 3 Rye, right? So it means they like cap out at 22 health.
Yeah.
So like, and Soul does just like
probably
take
kill them.
80% of your life.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Because you think by the time they're casting Soul,
you've
taken
some damage.
Definitely taken damage.
Yeah. But, so I don't know. It's a little scary. We'll see. I don't know if this is the type of game where they're going to print like permission spells or anything, because that's like in Magic or whatever, always the way that you deal with combo, right? Is literal counter spells. Like it doesn't matter if your combo's uninteractable, you just cast counter spell, right?
Right.
So I don't know. I think I was as far as I can tell, I think the devs are like pretty happy with where the game's at. So like, you know, I'm just scared for no reason probably.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's fine. I think there's enough diversity in the game where, you know, you're not just going to get blown out. I mean, you might just get blown out, but you're not going to get blown out every time you play against one of these combo decks, you know. Look at my track record with Xander, where I just draw all Luxem in the beginning of the game, and just lose.
Yeah, that
so
like
that you know they could also just draw all Crux and just be like, oof,
just have an unplayed land.
Yeah,
bunch of cards that they want to discard, like, you know, refurbish or whatever, but no ways to discard them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so like, I think where the game is fine. I'm happy that they made the change to Ensoul, but at the same time, it probably wasn't 100% necessary. But
yeah, I mean, I think more so hearing them talk about it. I think it was they made the change so that the card would operate more in line with the core rules. And it just happened to be a, you know, like a slight nerf to a strategy that's proving pretty powerful. Yeah. But like that wasn't the reason they made the change, which is good. I don't, you know, especially in a physical card game, I never want a company to be like going crazy, you know, banning stuff, because like that obviously feels bad for everybody.
Right. Especially, I mean, we're not even in April for the full release yet.
Yeah, I think if they're going to do it, it's better now, right? Because people don't have cards and they haven't invested yet.
I guess so. I like having a clean open meta where there's like, you know, nothing else, like nothing banned yet. Like, let us play with the full set.
I agree. Yeah.
Give me 6 months. Right. You know, this next supplement set's supposed to come out before the tournament.
Yeah.
In Houston, so like, let me play with the full set before until then, and then when that second supplement set comes out, then let's you know, analyze what's going on and see is there any cards that actually need to be banned.
Sure.
Which I don't think there is.
Yeah, I think it feels pretty fine right now.
We haven't really seen, you know, or heard of any of the supplement stuff, so like we don't know how the decks are going to change, but at this time everything just feels good, and you know, it's enjoyable to play.
Yeah, I would assume when the supplement set comes out, because our next set coming out, for viewers at home who are not aware, that don't, you know, read every message of every person in the Discord servers like we do. The plan with the next supplement set is that it's going to be like a small set. I think they said like 90 cards or something, where like Dawn is like 270 or something. Yeah. So like much smaller. And it's only going to be supporting the 4 classes that are currently in the game. So it's going to be new warrior, tamer, mage, assassin, and they're not going to touch the 3 classes that we haven't seen yet until the main set that's going to come out like at the end of the year. So I would assume when this supplemental set comes out that it's probably going to be like pretty light on warrior support.
I would hope.
And probably heavier on like Assassin and Tamer. But it's unclear to me still, especially now that we can, look back 2 weeks later after recording our first episode at how stupid and wrong we were.
Right. Well, it's not even how stupid and wrong we were. It's just like how quickly the meta just evolved and then like evolved again. Like,
right. Yeah. People smarter than me, It's
right.
I'm not a deck builder, I'm just like
I try to be a deck builder.
Who won the tournament? Oh, cool. I'll take their deck list.
I try to be a deck builder because I like brewing around, but I always get my eyes on cards. I'm like, oh, this card's amazing. Right. And then it's just like, no.
I wish I could do it. I just like my brain can't do it.
Yeah.
It's
I'm a deck builder, but I need a sounding board.
Sure. Yeah.
I need someone else sitting there going, but how does this work in the deck? Like,
don't worry, Steve. I'll always be here to tell you your deck's bad,
I know that. But hey, can't call my decks bad because I've net decked all three of my decks
that's
at
a fair
the moment.
Point. We won't name any names. We won't throw anybody under the bus. But yeah, I think all I was gonna say is that like I think Xander and very much Sylvie are like probably just very unexplored right now. Like obviously we're talking about how crazy good Lorraine is, and this is the first time there's been any organized play at all with these altar cards that I think are just such a huge boon for Water and for Sylvie of course as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think I saw we're dating this episode, but I think Lime posted that there's another tournament coming up soon. I think it's like in a week or two. So by the next time we see you, we'll have that to talk about. He said off topic or whatever that part of the prize support for that tournament is Merlin deck boxes. Did you know those are real?
I did not know that was real.
Because there's like the Sylvie one that like folds out.
Right. I love that Sylvie deck box. Like I've been looking on, on eBay for it.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's like $60.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But
and then there's like the Kickstarter one. But
I'd be very interested in the Merlin one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And we said on the last episode, and we still feel that way. We're not big TTS people. It's really hard for me to want to play TTS.
Yeah.
But damn, Merlin deck boxes.
I'm just thinking like it. The more and more I see the prize support for these tournaments,
I know,
the
it's
more
so
I'm
good.
like, do I just bite the bullet?
Did you see the prize support for this marketplace tournament that we're talking about?
No.
It was crazy.
I hadn't,
because they like didn't really announce anything until signups were closed.
Yeah.
And it was like I think it was somebody on the Discord. Forgive me, I don't know who exactly that donated all the prize support, but like crazy. There was like first edition boxes and stuff in there. It's like
wow,
wild. So it's like maybe we should be gaming. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I guess this is a good segue to move into talk about the tournament, organized play, because I was looking through their organized play for Houston, and those prizes are really good too.
Yeah, so they put out an article. It was actually a while ago at this point, but I know a lot of people, especially people newer to the game that have just been getting into it recently, didn't catch it, about their plans for organized play. And I think they're really robust. Obviously, I always am a little bit scared with the smaller companies like this that are like have these like very lofty goals. I do believe in Weebs of the Shore. I think they're doing a great job. So like if there's anybody to have confidence in, it is them. Like this like pre-launch time for Grand Archive is the best like handled that I've ever seen for a pre-launch TCG, especially a small one like this.
Yeah.
It seems like they're really knocking everything out of the park. But so their plan for organized play is twofold, I guess. They're going to have a sort of like a ranking system, but a lot of card games do this. Magic has done it in several forms. Flesh and Blood does it, which I'll mention a little bit later. But it's a sort of a ranking system similar to competitive online games like I think of like League of Legends Hearthstone and stuff like that, where you have these like medal-based accolades like bronze, silver, gold, etc. And the metrics that they're using for those is total matches played, so you're like veterancy in the game. ELO, which I'm not sure if they're going to use literal chess ELO, which in a minute I have a point about that. And like seasonal veterancy, so like I assume they're going to break it up into seasons based on the current expansion release and how many games or events you've played in that current expansion. And then they have like mail-in player rewards like Magic used to do. Those like cool textless cards that Magic used to give out as player rewards when they cared about their community.
Yeah.
And there's some like really cool stuff on here. Like if you're, I don't know when it checks, if it's like yearly or seasonally or whatever, but if you're in top 10 of, Grand Archive ranked ladder or whatever, you get a serialized like CPR, which I think there's only going to be those 10 of, which is like super crazy, which is just nuts.
Yeah, it's awesome. Everything about it is amazing. I'm just very, very interested in the secondary path.
Yeah. So
more than the first one, to be honest, because like first one, tournaments and whatnot, that's cool. But the way that they're doing tournaments is there's two ways to play.
Right.
You can play the game.
Sure.
Or for collectors, they have their own thing.
Yeah, I think it's really smart. What Steve is referring to is that we have our first big event, which are being called Ascents. I guess.
In Houston, yeah.
So it's going to be Ascent in Houston. They've sort of narrowed down that it'll be in Houston because that's where the company is from. And it'll be towards the end of the year. I think they said somewhere between like August and October. I don't think they've hammered out a date yet. But yeah, what Steve said is that there's two ways to play, which is super cool. So there's the Path of Steel, which is your like typical 2-day Swiss tournament, cut to top, whatever, and then single elimination to get your ultimate winner of the event. And then they're doing a really cool thing called the Path of Silver, I believe.
Yep. Path of Silver.
Which is for collectors, which is, I think, a really smart way to like monetize the game, because it's a smaller game. Like obviously, we're going to be at the point where I assume this Ascent is like hopefully going to be a couple hundred people, but it's not going to be like thousands of people or anything. So like a good way to incentivize people to get into the game, and especially to collect, because it's a very collectible game. Is this Path of Silver, where they like reward you based on the collection that you bring. And I think the coolest thing about it is that the way that it works is all of your cards have like an individual value. So if you're like, Giga Whale or whatever, and you have every CUR in the game, you get a bunch of like free points. Congratulations. You spent your monies. But on the day of the tournament, so like nobody knows beforehand, there's these like set bonuses of like when you submit your list, you organize things into sets, and they said that that's where you're going to get like the majority of your points. Right. So like even if you're like a Giga Whale or whatever, if you bring the wrong selection of cards, or you decide, I don't need to bring 3 of every common in foil in the set or whatever,
and then they're like, hey, surprise, we need just commons and uncommons. Actually, everything else is null and void.
0 points. It's like all champions 0 points. We're only checking foil nullifying lanterns or whatever. I think that's super sweet.
I've never seen a card game do something like this, and I kind of like jumped the shark a little bit about talking about it, but I'm just very excited for it. I think it's very cool. I don't know, man. It's so refreshing to see a card game doing something innovative.
Right.
Where it's not just cut and paste. Let's copy what, other companies are doing.
Right.
It's like, hey, why don't we try something out, We'll do something new for our player base. And it's also, like you were saying, an incentive to collect the game.
Right. So it like helps the secondary market too, where like the cards are going to be worth more because they do have like a real like tangible value, right? Which is cool.
It's not just, hey, I opened up a box, 90% of it is just going to sit in another box because I have no use for it because I'm only playing this one deck.
Right.
I'm not touching mage cards because I want to just play Lorraine, or I'm just playing Sylvie, so I don't really have a use for any of the class bonus cards.
Right.
But now the game is making
it. Yeah. And I think it's a little bit unclear, so hopefully, if any of our beautiful dev friends are watching, somebody can clarify for me. But so they say that the Path of Silver is also a 2-day event, but I think day 1 is just like preparation day or something. They've called it something like that.
Right, like
where you
get
just
your
like
cards together.
Yeah, spend your day getting the cards together. They like mention, and they're like, you can like go to vendors and trade with other players, which is like super cool in theory, I think.
Right,
to like oh man, to complete this set, I really need a foil Bubble Mage promo. I better go see if anybody has one. You know,
it's also kind of rough because like now every time I travel for this game, I'm gonna have to bring my entire collection.
Right? Yeah. Now we're priced into like we have to bring the podcast setup, and now we also have to bring like totes of commons
and uncommons, which I. Perfectly cool. With, like
we're gonna be freight shipping our collections.
And if you guys, when these tournaments come up, please come up and say hi to us. Like,
we're just dudes.
We're just dudes trying to play an anime card game.
But yeah, I think a really cool thing about it is that hopefully, if it works out this way, I think it will, is that you can play in both, which is nice because like. Theoretically, the time to put your collection together, if you are like not hunting down cards or whatever, is like probably pretty small.
Right.
So you can like do that after your rounds of Path of Steel.
Right.
So
in between rounds and stuff. Yeah. If you're like us and you're probably just gonna go 0-2.
Right. Yeah.
This Path of Silver is gonna be real cool.
Right. Yeah. Something to do after we're 0-2 and just like, man, I guess we'll just sit here
and play more. Grand Archive.
Right. So yeah, I think it's really cool, and the prize support's nuts.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
This is like we'll leave the link to the article down below for you guys that can look at it fully. But they said that there's going to be like a cash prize, and that's unannounced.
Right.
And I think like, granted, maybe I'm in the minority or whatever, but I think you and I are probably the same. That like the cash prize or whatever is not even what I'm worried about. Like the prize support that they've already announced for this event, it's crazy. It's like. Yeah. For the top 8 of both events, you get serialized CPRs, which are like the promo signature cards, so stuff like Nimue and the Banner Knight and stuff like that. Have you seen what those are? Because we haven't seen them, but they've announced what they are.
Oh yeah.
And the CPRs for Ascent Houston are they're the spirits, but they all have names.
Okay.
Like female name, Spirit of Wind.
Yeah.
So it's like obviously just cute anime girl signed Spirit of Wind or whatever, which is just like
awesome.
Oh man, I'm gonna be on life support if I do not get one of these things. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be like,
I mean, I guess that means we just need to start grinding more games.
Yeah, we gotta win. Yeah, or whale, or both,
or just buy it later.
Yeah, it's so much. I don't know. Like,
I'm afraid to see what that secondary market price would be. Even I mean, there's only 10 of them. Good luck.
There's only 8 of each of them.
8 of them. Yeah.
I also don't know how they're going to be distributed because there's 4 spirits.
Right.
And all 4 of them are listed.
There's 3.
All 4 of them are listed.
There's 3 spirits.
Yeah, just my luck. I'm gonna get Lost Spirit or whatever, and I'm just gonna be like, what do I do with this?
You put it in your binder and you show it off occasionally.
You put it in the next Path of Silver, of course.
Fair.
Big brain, go infinite.
The only thing I'm gonna question is like maybe, that spirit would be playable in the future.
Maybe. I hope so. I think that'd be cool.
That'd be very cool. Yeah. I don't think there's any reason to play it now.
It would have to be a champion, right? Like some sort of champion that rewards you for your cards being normal.
Right,
which
not
is
having color.
Pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Granted, at that point, I don't know why you wouldn't just be playing a colored spirit and, like just normal cards.
Fair.
I don't know.
But yeah, not only is the CPR promos in this.
Right.
First place for the Path of Silver is 7 boxes.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think is it I thought it was 2 cases. Yeah, it's 12
Oh, it's 12. I'm sorry. I misread that line.
It's a case of the like expansion set that we haven't seen yet. And it's a case of first edition Dawn of Ashes.
Right.
Which like on the secondary market right now are like $1,600, $1,700.
Yeah.
For that.
Right.
And then a case of like probably unavailable set. So like probably retail, but that's another like, $400.
Right.
You're getting like a one of a kind promo and like $2,000 in product and a cash prize. It's crazy. We don't see prize support, like this for Magic, which you know is a $1 billion company. Like, I don't know, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm very excited to give it up my all for this.
I'm very excited to O2 drop and also get 20,000 points total in Path of Silver and just go home angry and sad. Yeah. But we'll be there, so you know you can find us in Houston this October. Very exciting stuff for sure, and I think I hope. Obviously, we're like pre-launch, so like you know. It's hard to expect. They're doing so much for us that I don't want to be like that. But you know, what next? But hopefully.
But what next?
Yeah, but hopefully we get more of these events. I think you know, and this happened with Flesh and Blood as well. So like I understand the privilege that Steve and I sit in is that like this is a you know U.S. company. So like I assume when we get more Ascents and stuff. At least for a while the game is smaller, they will be in the U.S., which is like, you know, apologies for our friends, you know, down under and in Europe. But exciting for us.
Yeah. My travel cost is going to be less than $1,000?
Right, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
And I know that because we have a big, in the Discord, there's a big community of Australian players.
Right.
And I think... what I've sort of gauged from talking to them is that that like I think they like all sort of are in a similar area, which is like strangely a coincidence, but like you know, so they have a big locals down there that they have like 10 or 12 people I think, and I think a lot of them are coming up, which is
that would be
kudos
awesome.
to you guys.
Yeah.
We I spoke with our friend Limelight, and I know that he's planning to come up, so I think it should be a good time. I'm hoping that it's a big event. It's sort of. This sort of reminds me of stuff that came out during COVID, where it's just like it's really unclear to me how many people are excited for this game, and we just like won't know until it's time.
Based on how many people join the Discord every day, I'm assuming that there's gonna be a lot of people down there.
Right, and the word on the street is that like distributors are like basically sold out of Alter product, which is great. I don't know if that's just like Giga Whale people that own stores or whatever, like myself, that are just like hitting the button. Yeah. But like
everything you can give me, please.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's basically what I told our rep is just like whatever you can get, just send me the bill. But yeah, we're super excited. We will see you guys for Ascent. Another very exciting thing that we can talk about before we get out of here is that we are impending very very close to Kickstarter product being available to human people.
Yeah, very exciting. I know there was that little hiccup with the dock or the warehouse, and they had to move it to another warehouse. Right. But yeah, according to all the updates, any week or any day now, really, they're going to start shipping it out, which is very exciting.
I think for everyone too. Like I know Australia was having a problem, but I think that's settled now too. So I think everybody, we're like just about ready to ship out. So hopefully, since we do these episodes of Lineage Break every 2 weeks. Hopefully, 2 weeks from now, when we're recording episode 3, we're going to have
real product,
real cards.
Yeah.
I will have my, number 69 Lorraine Wandering Warrior, of course, that I will open.
We're all praying right now that he gets it, so it's not just throwing things at us.
Yeah, he didn't get one. Punching walls and throwing tantrums and spending way too much money
to buy one.
Yeah, I'm praying for my financial stability. That,
same, because
can't do it.
We need to have the money to go down to
Houston,
true. And if you're buying your Lorraine, we're probably not.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, no. Very exciting to actually have physical products.
Exciting times for sure. We're like pretty close to launch too. It's like, now like 8 weeks out or something.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. And with that in mind, like, definitely watch out our channel because we'll probably definitely be opening some first edition.
Yeah, I think when we get it, we will probably unbox it on the channel.
Yeah,
and I'll record all of the boxes and only upload the one where, of course, I open the CUR.
Right. And we have a few friends that also have products.
That's true. Yeah, we're gonna have some stuff kicking around.
Some stuff to crack.
So yeah, keep an eye out for the channel. But yeah, I think that is it from us today. Thank you, of course, as always, for watching. We very much appreciate you.
Yeah.
If you are looking to catch up with us, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. You can also find us on Twitter at Lineage Break. You can find us on the Discord under various handles or whatever. You know who we are, maybe.
We'll link our Discord names in the the box below.
That one. And, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't shill our game store. If you are in the Massachusetts area and you are looking to play Grand Archive, please let us know. Check out Webway Games. That is our local game store where we will be running all of our Grand Archive locals and all that great stuff. We do have product on the way. Of course, something I mentioned earlier, just want to give another shout out to Creative Shock, our podcast friends. We'll leave the link down to their show below if you're looking for more Grand Archive podcast content.
Yeah,
lots of great content from those guys and
others. Yeah,
plenty of other people.
Creative Shock guys are great. Like I was literally watching their video before I left to come here film this. So.
So yeah, that's it from us. We will see you guys in 2 weeks, hopefully with Kickstarter product in hand. So take it easy.
Have a good one.